Welcome to Paris. We landed at 4 o'clock in the morning, so it was still dark outside, hard to see anything, and the windows on the airplane were all kind of dirty. But anyway, we're here at Charles de Gaulle Airport early morning.
I love Paris in the winter when it drizzles. I love Paris in the summer when it's season. I love Paris every moment of the year. I love Paris. Why do I love Paris? Because my love is...
After a taxi ride through the streets of Paris, we arrived at St. Christopher Inn. As you can see, people are busy already at this hour of the morning in the streets. It is a thriving metropolis with people and fun places to visit and see. We begin our day at St. Christopher's Inn as we check in.
Hi, welcome. How can I help you?
I want to check in, please. I'm staying here.
Okay, can I see your passport, please?
Okay. Thank you so much.
No problem.
No problem, I know.
I keep trying to come down to
You
get...
pay me?
Yeah, I try to get
No,
this...
you pay me if you...
No, I never pay anybody.
Where you
I
from?
have hundreds of people work for me as reporters.
Where you from?
United States.
Where?
Maryland. Maryland. Baltimore?
I don't... How's your
Baltimore, yeah. I shoot...
Baltimore?
Baltimore. I shoot the top of the World Trade Center. I shoot in the city. Top of the morning show, okay?
Yeah.
Yes!
Top of the morning.
I am Sidiki, the #1 of St. Christopher Bellucci's.
Hi, I'm Loretto. Welcome to St. Christopher's Inn, and we hope you like your stay.
Welcome to the Rue de la Crémie. We're here at the St. Christopher's Inn Hostel. St. Christopher is the patron saint of travelers. It's Bellucci's Bar and Cafe that serves the hostel their breakfast, a fantastic breakfast of all-you-can-eat buffet. I lived my life on canals, I think. I grew up in Ireland where there was a canal beside my house for years until I moved. And now we're back in Paris, and this particular inn is right on the canal, and it's just really beautiful. It's a lovely place to be able to sit and eat breakfast. The breakfast is fantastic, as I have mentioned. And this is, you can see the old architectural buildings and structures as you look up and down the canal. We'll take you on a little tour outside later. But right now we're hungry. Let's eat. Today, I'm having breakfast sitting right here. And look at the breakfast. Oh my God. Look at this breakfast. It's all-you-can-eat buffet. Ham and cheese. Some French burger, French butter, eggs, fruit, and of course a cup of coffee. This is the breakfast room of the hostel, which is also a wonderful known sports bar named Bellucci's. They tell me Bellucci's has been here for years and years and years. And it's not affiliated with the actor. And this is the hostel at St. Christopher's Inn Hostel. So this is the canal. Here's the back porch of the hostel. Fantastic. We're always running into fun people on the road, and this time we met our wonderful friend Ryan, who was good enough to do a few bites of interview for us. He is well-seasoned traveler all over Europe and actually is from the United States.
Hello, we're here at the St. Christopher's Inn in Paris, right on the canal as you can see, and it's rather beautiful and stunning.
So tell me a little bit about yourself now.
I'm originally from Southern California and I have a passion for unique hostels, and this is one of the more beautiful hostels I've stayed at around the world. I even have gotten to quite a few hostels on the east coast of the United States, but even though many of them have their own personal charms, nothing's quite like the hostels in Europe, especially, in my opinion, Paris and Amsterdam, but obviously I spent a lot of time here, so.
So you mentioned earlier there are other St. Christophers?
There are. They all have their own unique charm, but it is a bit of a chain, which means they do follow some standard procedures, which makes it easy. But yes, there are other St. Christophers in various cities across mostly Western Europe. But it is a British-owned company, if I'm not mistaken. One of my favorite things to do in Paris is pop into these bakeries, patisseries, and actually choose mystery flaky pastries where I don't really know what's inside, but I have not been disappointed. I've gotten anywhere from an applesauce base all the way to chicken and beans inside, and I have not been disappointed once yet. So I will continue to choose my mystery pastries with excitement, and so have a look at this.
The most fun I had was going to the bakeries, and I just decided to overindulge. I went to the bakery almost every day, and I had a wonderful treat every day, sometimes two, but who could resist? Nothing like a French pastry bakery. And the bread is fantastic. The sandwiches are wonderful, wonderful sandwiches. And the king of pastry, I believe they are truly the king of pastry. And this is their video. Let's see. This is unbelievable. Just a beautiful, beautiful dessert. So many good desserts in the case here. Just over there. It's a great bakery. French bakery. People just keep coming in off the street. The doors just slide open. This is a very unique bakery. It's right across the street from what's called the Casino, which is a supermarket. I will go out and take that a little bit later, but I have to stop and have this wonderful dessert, which I'm going to have, because this is a fantastic place. We're having a beautiful dessert. Just look at all those wonderful things in the place. You just line up, keep coming and coming and coming, and go out the door, in and out. It's a walk-in, unbelievable business. I mean, there's been about 100 people come through here since I have walked in. Almost all of these people are French. They speak no English.
Wow, wasn't that delicious? We'll be right back.
Okay, so this is the dock. The canal, all the boats. And this is the back of the hostel, where actually the Holiday Inn, and on that back side of the hostel there. There's another boat up that way. It's a shame it's so overcast. There's glow-lamps everywhere. And Paradise Sushi. This is beautiful, isn't it? There's the Paradise Sushi. Beautiful for Christmas. Beautiful. There we are. I'm in France. There I am. I feel very French. I just have to keep my mouth shut. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Beautiful. So beautiful. This is the Holiday Inn. And this is the Lucy Cafe. And here, which is part of the hostel.
Hello, this is Ryan. We're here at St. Christopher's Inn Canal in Paris, and I just wanted to welcome you to the show.
Have you seen Notre Dame? What is one of your favorite landmarks in Rome? In Rome? What is one in Paris?
I was blown away by the Cour de Sucre.
Cour de Sucre?
I couldn't even pronounce it. What, the Cour Sacré? The beautiful white church, the beautiful dome church. Yeah, I love the exterior architecture. I do love flying buttresses, so I have seen those on Notre Dame and obviously the other Gothic churches that have flying buttresses. But there is also this beautiful church up on the hill. It's Cour de Sucre, or I don't know if I'm getting the name correct, but I met a cool friend from Mexico City, Rahul, and we enjoyed this beautiful church together, and we explored, and there is some of the most beautiful artwork I've ever seen. Ornate and rather ostentatious, but soaring and beautiful in the high vaulted ceilings of this ancient church. A little bit more macabre, I do enjoy Parisian cemeteries. There's unbelievable artwork stacked right next to each other, being that these are, sites of remembrance. So just the volume of beautiful artwork that spans generations. A lot of people don't think of cemeteries, but particularly Parisian cemeteries are some of the most beautiful cemeteries I've ever strolled through.
This is absolutely beautiful here at Belushi Sports Cafe. Right out, you see, there's my breakfast. Walk right out onto the deck. There's the canal. I walked on the other side of this and showed you coming back towards the Holiday Inn, which is also beautiful. So right next door to each other, you have this wonderful hostel, and you have the Holiday Inn. Now this is early morning. It's actually 8:15 a.m. As you can see, it's still dark. Just getting light now. And they say it's always like this here in the winter. It's dark. Slowly. I haven't seen the sun the whole time I've been here. But truly it's a beautiful place to stay. It's only $30 a night. You can't beat this. On the canal. Right on the canal. Last night there was a big party and I just was too tired. But they were up till 4 or 5. Okay, I just finished breakfast. It was unbelievably delicious, really great. Ham and Swiss cheese on French bread with French butter. And this is right on the canal bank. And I'm having a great time. And I hope you all enjoy the show. All right. Let me ask you what your favorite attraction in Paris is.
My attraction to Paris is just the layers of history. There's so much history walking from one block to another. There's thousands, if not tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of history layered below your feet and obviously in the buildings that you're standing beside. Just the sense of art and the combination of building with a sense of perfection and the use of beautiful geometry and some of the best mason work in the world. So Paris is, I'd say, on par with Rome in historical significance, right there. And it's a beautiful city. From one street to another, you have no idea what you're going to run into, or the beautiful ancient artwork that you're going to catch.
Remember. Turtle
Paris in the winter when it's freezing. I love Paris in the summer when it's season. I Paris every moment of the year. I love Paris. Why do I love Paris? Because my love is real.
So this is the Rue de la Flanders, the Boulevard of Flanders.
Là, c'est à côté. Parce que tu sais, il y a.
This avenue is teeming with shops of shoes and all kinds of wonderful boutiques, and also strange places like a Chinese supermarket right in the middle of Paris, and then of course McDonald's, and I even wound up being able to find a dollar shop. Of course, anyone who knows me knows I love dollar shops. So here was our dollar shop in Paris, but run by Chinese people who were wonderful to me. They treated me so well. So Ryan, I've traveled on hostels all over the United States. I understand you have too.
Yes, the hostels in the U.S. aren't quite as expansive as they are in, say, Western or even Eastern Europe, but they are growing by the day, and there are some rather charming U.S. hostels along the eastern seaboard that I was recently able to visit. And just briefly, there's a beautiful hostel in Richmond, Virginia that is an old converted elevator factory and was also one time a women's prison. And that's one of my favorite things, is these beautiful old repurposed buildings into very functional, beautiful hostels where young people can see the United States at a relatively inexpensive cost. Also, there's another beautiful hostel in Charleston, South Carolina. It's called Not So Hostel, and it's actually an old southern mansion in the middle of Charleston, repurposed into a beautiful hostel as well. And they're just one of the most charming places in the world to enjoy at a relatively inexpensive price for a bed and be able to explore these beautiful U.S. cities with all their charm and history. Hello, this is Ryan. We're here at St. Christopher's in Canal in Paris, and I just wanted to welcome you to the show. Well, just to come full circle, we're back here in Paris on the canal, and this is actually the second hostel, St. Christopher's Hostel in Paris. There's actually a St. Christopher's de Nord, and actually that one's higher rated than the canal, but it's much more populated and urban dense, where this one is in a beautiful neighborhood, and as you can see, we're right next to a beautiful canal. And the beds are cheaper, so who would have guessed?
Yeah. Ay, ay, ay. Canoeing. So this is a view from the St. Christopher's Inn, and you can see someone rowing right on the canal.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time you visit.
Well, I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you next time on the road.